Wow, can't believe how far we've gotten. We're already to module number 7, talking about vision and mission and culture today. So, if you don't know where you're going, all roads will take you there. We're going to talk about developing your business DNA in today's module. So, let's go ahead and dive into this. So, what are we going to cover today? Well, we're going to take a look at starting to plan for your future. Hopefully you're starting to stop the bleeding in your business. And as the bleeding stops, we can start getting back on the right track. We need to start thinking about planning for the future. We're also going to talk about developing your vision for the business. Where do you want to take this thing? We got to take a look at the mission for the business. So how are you going to fulfill the promises that you put out there for your customers? And then finally, how to get your employees on board, developing the culture that you choose. So let's get going here and do our review from our last session. So last module we went over surveying your customers in order to know what are the issues. What are they saying about you? Have you had a chance to go out under some of those websites that I listed to see if you can see if people are talking about your business? And have you started to actually send surveys out proactively to get response from your customers? We talked about developing consistency first before brilliance. If you're going to impress Cindy down the hill, you might want to make sure that you've got a consistency and not try to showboat things and flop right in front of your customer. So you need to get your team to love your customers by helping them understand lifetime value. Are you starting to help your team understand that? Are you starting to orient them on how much value each customer possesses within your business? And finally, what sort of basic systems and ongoing communication are you looking to use to keep in touch with your customers? Are you looking to include things in your invoices or mail outs? Are you looking to start doing an electronic or an actual paper newsletter? Something where you start developing consistency in communicating with your customers. So let's dive into this today. So the first thing is we have to stop the survival mindset and start planning for the future. Now, I hear this all the time from business owners. Kevin, if I just make it to the next payroll, everything will be fine. Or, you know what, if I just make it through this busy season, everything will be fine. Or, you know what, if I can get enough cash to make it through this slow period in my business and get into the busier season, I'm going to be fine. Well, the problem with that is eventually you'll burn yourself out because you'll be doing this year after year after year. And at some point, you can't take it anymore. You will naturally burn out no matter how strong you are. So we have to start looking at developing a vision. So let me illustrate to you the concept of not having a vision. Imagine that I'm sitting with you in a vehicle. And I'm the driver and you're getting to the passenger seat and you say, Kevin, where are we going? And if I said, I don't know, let's start driving, you might be a little nervous. Well, that's kind of like a company without a vision because, as I like to say, if you don't know where you're going, all roads will take you there. So we need to know where we are going. So we need to begin with the end in mind. One of my favorite books of all time is Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one of his great principles is always begin whatever you do in life with the end in mind. What do you want things to look like when they're finished? So we need to take a look at your business and ask yourself, what will my business look like when it's finished? Because let me give you this illustration here. Now, when you build a house, do you just go ahead and get a backhoe, start digging a big hole in the ground, start throwing down concrete and 2x4s and just start building it willy-nilly? Well, of course not. You start off with a blueprint. So your business needs to have a blueprint just like a blueprint you would have for building a house. So what would that potentially look like in your business? Well, it could be revenues that you want to achieve. It could be profits, could be number of team members, number of outlets, impact on your local community, etc. You see, you want to make the decision of what you want your business to look like. Now, a lot of business owners I've spoken over the years said, well, gee, Kevin, you know, what if I build it? What if I put a blueprint together of my business, my vision, and it goes somewhere else? Well, that's okay. When you build a house and it's finished, do you have the opportunity to remodel it in several years' time? Well, of course you do. It's the same concept here. Not every vision has to be set in absolute concrete for the rest of your life. So remember, your business vision must support your personal vision. The purpose of a business is to help you support your dreams. So if you know where you're going in life, then the business needs to have a vision that supports you. Now, some people think that might be selfish, and yet at the end of the day, why did you get in business into the first place? It's probably because you had a dream of something. So it's time to resurrect those dreams and make them real, and then have your business support those dreams that you have for yourself. So the key point here is to remember that the primary audience for your vision is your team. Let me give you this illustration. So how many of you out there when you were little kids probably had your own lemonade stand or own little mini business? Probably the vast majority of you. So now we're adults. What percentage of adults own a business in the United States or North America? Statistically, it's probably around 4%. So what happened between the 100% of kids being entrepreneurs and only 4% of adults being entrepreneurs? Well, here's the whole thing, is when you were a kid, you valued opportunity. And when you became an adult, you valued security. That's why most people get a job. But here's the whole thing, is that those adults really truly never lost that deep desire for opportunity. The key is they live it vicariously through you, the business owner. Your employees have that childlike sort of opportunity excitement when you succeed. So when you put a big vision out there, it gets them excited, and your success becomes their success. That's one of the critical reasons why we need to have a powerful vision in your business. So now we want to talk about this. What is the path to achieve that future? What is your mission? So I'll give you back to the same example here. Let's go ahead and hop into a car. I'm the driver, you're the passenger. And you ask, Kevin, where are we going? And I say, we're going to Kansas City, Missouri. And you go, woohoo, I'm excited. And you said, how are we going to get there? And I said, I have no idea. You might be a little frightened. So the mission is basically the roadmap to the vision. Do you know how you are going to achieve the vision that you put out there? So the mission really is a short statement of who you are as a business and what business you are in, who are your customers, and what makes you special. So what we want to do in this mission is make it a crystal clear, idea of who we are and how we're going to get to where the vision leads us to. Now, here's a major key I want you to understand. What business you think you are in and what business you actually are in may be two totally different things. So you may think that you are in the trucking business. Well, actually, you may be in the life fulfillment business because you're taking goods and services to make a difference in somebody else's life. You may think that you are a carpet cleaner, but really you are a home improvement life specialist creating a whole new atmosphere for people in their homes by having a clean carpet. So take a look at what your business actually is instead of what you think it may be, and go a little bit deeper in looking at that mission. Instead of maybe, say, if you're a grocery store just feeding people, maybe your mission as a grocery store is to transform your community in the way they look at food. I mean, if we take a look at a larger scale, what did Whole Foods do? Whole Foods has transformed the way people see food because they thought deeper than just being a grocery store. So key point here is that the primary audience for your mission is your customers. You want to put a mission statement together that gets your customer excited about working with you. So now we want to talk about how you get your employees on board. What is your culture? So let's get back into the vehicle. So now let's say that I'm driving the car, you've hopped in, and you say, you know what, Kevin, where are we going? And I say, we're going to Kansas City, Missouri. And you go, woohoo, this is great. And you go, how are we going to get there? Well, we're going to drive down until we hit St. Louis. We're going to take a hard right and keep on going until we hit to Kansas City. And you go, that's great. So I want to bring my kids along. How do you want them to behave while they're on the trip? Oh, hadn't thought about that. So the whole idea here is, what are the rules of the game that you want your employees to possess while they're on this journey? So the key point here is that if you don't choose your culture, your team will choose it for you. Because not having you choosing the culture doesn't mean you don't have a culture. Oh, you do. But it's your employees that choose it. And if your employees have a lousy background, then they're going to choose a lousy culture. So you're the one that has to make the decision on what kind of culture that you want in your business. So here's the key. Every company culture will be different. I've seen too many business owners put generic sort of terms together that are as vanilla as can be. You know, integrity. I want a culture of integrity and honesty and communication. Well, great. Every business would probably want that. But what makes your culture different? Because think about this. On a large scale, the culture of Disney is going to be totally different than, say, the culture of Lockheed Martin, a huge defense contractor. And the culture of the Museum of Modern Arts is going to have a totally radically different culture than, say, Hewlett Packard or whatever. Everybody's going to have different cultures. So what is your culture going to be? So I want you to choose the culture points that resonate with you as the owner and what you want to achieve. Now remember, you're the leader of this business, so lead. Put it out there. Remember this, is that this business is a reflection of you, the leader. And if that's the case, what is it that you want to achieve? So bonus download in this module is I've got a keywords for culture and the sample action coach culture statement. So you can see the culture statement that Action Coach has put together and gives you an idea. Do I suggest you copy it verbatim? Oh, not at all. Make your culture statement yours. Take a look at the different key culture words, see what resonates with you, and put it together. So one of the biggest rookie mistakes that I see in this area is not understanding how long it will take to get your team on board. Too many businesses get excited, they put a vision, mission, and culture together, they roll it out, they introduce it, and 3 months later nothing's changed. Well, of course it hasn't changed, because it takes time to seep into the DNA of your business. Your job as the business owner is to continue keeping your vision, mission, and culture in front of your teams as much as possible. Is it in your email signatures? Is it posted around in your business so everybody can see it? Is it a topic of discussion in your team meetings in your business? What are the things that you can keep it going over and over, not just a days or weeks or months and even years, for that to seep into the deep pores of your business? It takes time, effort, and focus on your part as the business owner. But if you're consistent in doing it, you will reap huge rewards from that. So let's wrap it up today. So I want you to start looking clearly at what you want for your future and not just have it happen by accident. You're the leader. You make the decisions. You decide. Start developing a vision that only excites you, but also your team. Remember, each one of your employees has that little entrepreneurial seed still deep down inside of them from childhood. They live vicariously through your success. Help them achieve that with a big vision. And get your customers excited about a mission that includes where they want to go with you, because remember, they're rooting for you. If they're doing business with you, they want you to succeed. And then start putting a culture in place where you decide what you want and not just have it happen by accident and let your employees choose it, in essence, by default at random. So in our next module, we're going to start assembling the right team of business professionals for your business. We're going to talk about why you can't do business first aid on yourself. You need people around you. You know, who needs to be on your business professional team and what to look for in these people, because you have to have some level of discernment not to get the wrong business professionals on board. And your role in working with these business professional team so that you can get the maximum value out of using them. All right, well, it's time to get into action, and I look forward to seeing every one of you on the next module.